Very good morning to all of you. Today we will be starting the chapter number 5, section 2, paper 1, that is all about grassroots level democracy. A very important concept with regard to our GS paper 2 or your prelims of your UPSC CSE or with regard to PSIR optional 2. Most of the things whatever we are learning in the paper 2 is all about what we have learned in the Polity Lakshmikant. But still we have to do as a process of completion of syllabus. The only thing that you are going to learn about this particular, what I say is that PSIR polity, let us call it as. Here you will learn little bit deeper analysis will be there, and you will also see how things are functioning actually. What are the challenges, what are the functioning, which you generally don't study, but obviously you will study again in GS paper 2 in that length only. And what kind of questions are coming, on the basis of that we can easily analyze whether the questions from this paper 1 section 2, which is almost similar to polity only, mains polity. So what kind of questions are coming in PSIR paper, mains examination. On the basis of that we can easily understand that whether we have to study just like GS paper 2, which is also having polity, or we have to study little bit extra. So we can understand with the help of questions only that I have already put it in the slide. We will do it. Okay. Because what I am trying to say is basically what generally the students will think, okay, in polity is there in PSIR, we have to study little bit extra, like that they may be having some kind of like that doubt or confusion. But that is not all about. Why? Because you don't need to go too far, you need to go too deep into the PSIR polity also. Okay. At the end what they can ask you, critically examine. At the end what they can ask you, illustrate. At the end what they can ask you, elucidate. At the end what they will ask you, comment. But the concept of this particular topics always remains the same. How can you innovate new content when the content is based on concept? It is very difficult. When the content is based on concept, you will not have much to write. When the content is not based on concept, when the content is based on a law, something like that, you will having IT Act 800 pages book is there. Because it's not the concept which is discussed in the IT Act, or you can say the Motor Vehicles Act or Consumer Protection Act, whatever the bare acts you are having, whatever the acts, if you just download in the form of PDF and see the number of pages that they are having, they don't give you a concept, they give you the content. And content is basically interpreted. Content is basically what? Interpreted. So that's what the lawyers do generally with it. A report is there. Report does not, a report of the Government of India, a report of the Niti Aayog does not really means that it is having what? Concepts. Have you ever seen a report which is having concept discussion? No. They will just write the definitions. Labor force participation rate is called this one. GDP at basic prices is called this one. They'll just give the definitions. But is it the concepts? No, they are not the concepts. They are the information that is what has happened in our country over a period of time, that's all. 3 years report or 4 years report, they will just write all the things whatever has happened, compilation of the data, which is given in the form of what? Information, because they will remove lot of parts and they will try to have a chronology and sequence which is easy for us to understand. Information they will give, we will understand. But whether they discuss the concept? No, they will not discuss. Child marriages are there, why? They will not discuss this. Okay, but child marriages are there, they will discuss that. But why they will not discuss? They will not go reasoning. They will not do the reasoning in the reports. Remember this point. When the concept is there, content will be always be less. So here whatever we are discussing PSIR polity, these are all concepts. You study Polity Lakshmikant, you study D.D. Basu, you study Bakshi, all of that, what you will see, little bit more citation of the cases, nothing more than that. A language which is easy for some people to understand in Polity Lakshmikant, a language which is difficult to understand for some people with regard to a D.D. Basu. Bakshi is altogether about sections and articles, lot of articles and sections are there. So getting my point here. Okay, but if you take the 3 of the books of polity, all of them generally means the same. They all discuss 375 articles because we are here, we are having content. Concept will not be there. Concept is interpreted by us. Getting my point here? Yes. Now, grassroots democracy, panchayat raj and municipal government, significance of 73rd and 74th Amendments Acts, and grassroots movements are also there. Grassroots movements means to give this, to give effect, EFFECT is called as effect, is nothing but getting into existence something. To give effect to this grassroots level of democracy, what are the various movements that we have seen, whether we have seen worldwide, whether we have seen with regard to Indian context, all that we have to learn. Getting my point here? Okay. So let us start our discussion with what is the meaning of grassroots level democracy. Many of the student does not understand it. The way I understand it will also help you to understand what I am trying to tell. If this is our country, let us suppose, this is a roots of tree and these, let's suppose these are grasses. These are grasses and this is the stem and this is the tree. Let us suppose this way to understand it in a very better manner. Okay, getting my point here? Done. Now, this is central government. This is state government. This is grass, this is root. Grass is nothing but, it is urban local bodies, nothing but municipalities. Roots are nothing but rural local bodies, nothing but Panchayat Raj institutions. So the constitution of our country has given us what? This two was given us. State government and central government need to be established, and a dpsp that they have written, that organization of village panchayats, which is nothing but, they are talking about the grassroots level of democracy only. Clear? Okay, fine. And as because this is village, this is city, this is state, this is India. So after the constitution, after the independence we have got, we have created this grassroots level of democracy. Means the decision making should not be done by only the two organs of the federal government of our country, but also the decision making power with regard to whatever the delegated powers are there should also be done from the village panchayats at the municipalities. Okay, means governance very close to the people is the governance of what? Development, is the governance of what? Aspirations. Remember this point. So if you govern, if madam asks us to govern the class according to me, how beautiful I will be feeling it. If madam asks me to teach PSIR optional according to my understanding of it and try to strategize according to you, sir, or try to divide in 10 parts or 2 parts, up to you. If ma'am give me this permission, how beautiful it would be. Clear? So that's what, it's a kind of what a development. Here what will happen, you can also, it helps in the determination of local capabilities. How the local areas, how the local leadership can be developed in future. They will again be a part of MLA, again be a part of MP. So young leaders, that's why the age to contest the PRIs or municipal elections is just 21 years. Why? Because we are actually grooming the younger generation to become our future leaders with the help of PRIs and municipalities. Young ones will generally come up. That's what we wanted to establish, grassroots level of democracy. Clear? Okay. On the basis of that, the government of India has got, with regard to the committees, like we are having Balwant Rai Mehta committee, we are having Ashok Mehta committee, we are actually having GVK Rao committee, then we are having Singhvi committee, which has given constitutional status to this particular PRIs and urban local bodies, that is nothing but municipalities. The committee recommendations has never been a part of the PSIR question paper, they never asked it. They are restricted to only prelims. That was the reason I am not discussing about it. Whatever is, because it's almost like 5 decades, why to give you information just to bulk up your notes or just to make you sure that I have given enough for your examination. I don't want to do that particular practice. Let us be very smart in doing the things. So I am not discussing the committees here because they have never asked any question with regard to the committees as such. But why? Because 5 decades has happened, 73, 83, 93, 2003, 2014, 2023, almost 4 decades happened. Then all of them were established. So today we are having Panchayat Raj and municipalities, and you are going back and trying to analyze the GVK Rao Mehta committee or Elling Singhvi committee. How stupid it will be if you are going to do that kind of exercises. That's the reason we are not going into any of the committees, we are not going into that. We are trying to see the lecture in a very qualitative lens. We'll discuss more forward-looking problems and challenges with regard to PRIs and municipalities rather than going backward, which is nothing but just the recommendations, and all of them has been dismantled and only one has been prevailed. This is that. Local governance is a part of state subject. That's why state governments makes laws on it, gives the delegation, but a model law is anyhow. The government of India has given the model law, everyone has to follow it. Previous year questions, if you see with regard to PSIR optional, previous year questions with regard to Panchayat and municipality. In 2021 they have asked what? See, decentralization and Panchayat Raj. We have to talk about it. Obviously, in legislative sphere, in political sphere, in economic sphere, in taxation sphere, in developmental sphere, in planning sphere, in infrastructure development sphere, in labor governance sphere, decentralization has been given to them. We are going to discuss about it. See how it is too much contemporary and too much forward looking. That is what the questions will come. Do you think the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act has actually achieved the democratic decentralization? Do you think? Then talk about it. Talk about the women representation. Yes, democracy now is being represented in the form of what? Women sarpanchas, women members coming into. That is there. That has happened. Democratic decentralization. Working of Panchayat Raj institution, we are having a chapter on it. In different states, the Panchayat Raj governance and the municipal governance had brought lot of positives. We'll talk about it. Okay. So did it really achieve what we wanted to achieve by establishing this, that is democratic decentralization? Obviously, of course, Panchayat Raj municipalities, though they suffer from a lot of bottlenecks, the only bottlenecks that they, basically if you want to ask me that, sir, what is the problem with the municipalities, what is the problem with the Panchayat Raj institutions, I can generally say that first of all, little bit of independency they don't have. Again, state government, the political bureaucratic nexus will generally try to sway away their powers. That is the bigger problem I feel. Okay, they don't have very good autonomy. Second one is they are very good at taxation. They are very good at taxation, that I really love about it. Okay, so first one is they don't have complete independence of working. The second one here is political and the bureaucratic nexus is there. Third one here is, okay, woman being sarpanch but actually husband in running the show. That is another problem. Fourth and most important one is the funds allocation to the Panchayat Raj institutions. Okay, suppose if you are given a power, Panchayat Raj institutions, municipalities, you have to, what I say is that you are given a power that you can put what? Flyovers, or you can put what? A road development you can do, or you can put a market in your village. You are given the power that you can establish a market. Then the Panchayat Raj with the village Panchayat, after that Gram Sabha will pass a resolution that we want to construct a market yard here. Then that particular resolution will be given to what? Submitted to state government. State government need to release the fund or not? Yes, they don't do that. So fund problem is there. So there are good things are there with regard to democratic decentralization. Whenever they talk about the, do you think the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, especially they asked about 73rd, nothing but PRIs here, has achieved the objective of democratic decentralization or not? If they ask you this question, objective, if the word is like this in your examination, you have to talk about this establishment, how the establishment of Panchayat Raj institutions happened. You have to write 4 or 5 lines on it. Then you have to write, okay, then what is the meaning of democratic decentralization? You have to define that also. Then you have to start writing about the good. Then after that, criticize it. So whenever did you achieve, it means yes or no. Okay, do you think we achieved? Yes or no. Then it means you have to say that yes, we achieved this much, but yes, we did not achieve this much. So especially whenever we talk about do you know kind of questions, always in the examination, make sure that it is nothing but critically analyzed. It is nothing but what? Critically analyzed. Getting my point here. The 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act was a landmark in the decentralization of power. Again the same thing, critically evaluate. Again they asked about 73rd only. Social justice and grassroots democracy are the foundation of Panchayat Raj system, right or wrong? Okay, social justice. One of the important area of social justice is to dismantle the gender inequality which is being given in the what? 33% reservations are given for the women. Another important ingredient of social justice, nothing but the caste, lower caste representation is not there. Caste rigidities, caste inequalities are there. That's why seats are always also reserved in the form of SCs and STs. So that's why they are the foundations of creating a balance of power between all classes, all genders, all caste. That is what it is. Okay. Critically, again you see all of them are critically. Now here you see that 73rd Constitutional Amendment has enabled to strengthen the grassroots democracy among marginalized. Same to same question has been asked again, repeated. Same to same question was repeated. So in the then 23, 24 they have not given any kind of questions on it. So we are not discussing about it. Okay, but you see that 2-3 years they have not given. So next year 2026 pakka question will be there on it. For sure, if in our country anywhere election with regard to local body happens, when it talks about a very big major state, just like in Maharashtra we are going to have Bombay Municipal Corporation elections are there, BMC elections are there. So obviously if this kind of elections comes at that time also, big state, big municipal elections where there is lot of halla gulla is there, Prime Minister Modi ji is coming, Rahul Gandhi is coming, big stalwarts of the all political parties are coming for that particular elections. So definitely you are going to get a question on this particular topic for sure. Clear? Right.